The story begins with a woman drying clothes in front of an ancient statue, but she's startled to see a snake lurking inside the shrine. Her husband Achang tries to shoo it away but accidentally breaks the neighbor's wall. Anan, who worships the Xianluo Buddha and opposes Achang's belief in Naduko, gets furious and demands an explanation. Feeling guilty, Achang avoids confrontation, slipping Anan 20 ringgit through the door as a repair fee. That calms things down, until Anan dies in a sudden car crash on the way to buy a door panel. Soon the news reaches Achang and his wife, overwhelmed by guilt and fear of blame. They say nothing and keep it to themselves. Xiaoyan accidentally sees Anan's wife performing a ritual outside, acting very strangely. Just then, after the ritual ends, Achang's body starts trembling uncontrollably. At first, Xiaoyan isn't too worried, but Achang's condition quickly worsens. One day, he suddenly collapses by the river. Luckily, some kids find him and rush him home in time. That night, Achang keeps vomiting. But strangely, there are 2 nails mixed in with what he throws up. Xiaoyan rushes him to the hospital. The doctor suspects food poisoning, but Xiaoyan feels it's more complicated. She shows the nurse the nails, but the nurse sneers, saying the hospital only treats physical ailments and won't entertain such nonsense. Left with no choice, Xiaoyan takes Achang home, but doesn't stop investigating. She takes the nails to a hardware store, asking the owner if anyone's bought these recently. But he ignored her because his nails were rusty. Thinking Xiaoyan was causing trouble, he kicked her out. That night, a strange man crawled from Tianboya's shrine, moving like an animal with a leaf in his mouth. A month passed in the blink of an eye, but Achang's condition hadn't improved. One day, on her way home, Xiaoyan saw a crowd gathered for a ritual. It was the anniversary of Anan's death. His wife had come to the site of the accident to pay respects. Xiaoyan wanted to help, but worried Anan's wife might be upset. So she went to care for Achang instead. Surprisingly, Achang insisted on seeing Anan's wife. But Xiaoyan refused before he could even explain. Achang couldn't even stand, let alone apologize. He felt guilty about Anan's death. If he hadn't damaged their wall, Anan's accident might never have happened, and he wouldn't fear revenge from the widow. Achang believed his sudden illness was caused by a secret black magic curse from Anan's wife. Xiaoyan, a staunch atheist, dismissed his ghost stories outright. Meanwhile, after the ritual, Anan's wife sat before the Siamese god statue, draping a white cloth over her head. She prayed for the spirit to descend and take hold of her husband. Anan's wife fainted, but soon regained consciousness, kneeling all night to watch over her late husband. Suddenly, she heard strange noises from nearby and followed them to the accident site. Seeing her husband's familiar figure, she was overwhelmed with emotion, clinging to him and weeping uncontrollably. Achang's condition hadn't improved despite all the scientific efforts Xiaoyan tried. Feeling desperate, she reluctantly turned to divine help, starting with the earth god, also known as Nadugong. He explained that Achang's illness was actually caused by her urinating near the shrine, which angered the mountain goddess. The solution was simple. Xiaoyan had to bring offerings and sincerely plead for forgiveness. The earth god prepared a special holy water for Achang and insisted that Xiaoyan must give it to him. Once home, Xiaoyan found the holy water disgusting and worried it might be contaminated, so she decided to boil it. Just then her son Jian appeared, proudly showing her his excellent report card, filling her heart with happiness. But when Xiaoyan looked back, the water was almost evaporated. With no other options left, Xiaoyan prayed sincerely to the mountain goddess. Suddenly, she was startled by a woman's voice nearby, making her almost believe that the mountain goddess had truly appeared. The voice was from a woman beneath a rock. The woman told Xiaoyan that whenever she felt troubled, she came alone to this cave, and now she had unexpectedly met Xiaoyan. The woman asked why Xiaoyan had come, and Xiaoyan honestly shared her husband's illness. The woman bluntly said fighting the mountain goddess was useless. She would never harm anyone. The mountain goddess's real name was Ko Niang. Long ago, she traveled with the prime minister on a rice-laden ship to Malaysia. A sorcerer cursed the ship to claim Ko Niang. Suddenly, the sea was sucked dry by an elephant, and the ship turned into a mountain, trapping everyone inside. Later, scattered rice grains around created a sea of rice surrounding the mountain. The woman felt the mountain goddess was a pitiful soul who wouldn't hurt others. Her words left Xiaoyan half in doubt. As she prepared to leave, enchanting singing came from above the cave, hooking Xiaoyan in until night fell. When Xiaoyan returned home, her husband sat like he was possessed, staring blankly into the distance. Xiaoyan, curious, asked what he was looking at, but her husband stayed silent. The next day, Xiaoyan found her husband's favorite bird dead, foreshadowing more trouble. Watching her husband grow thinner, she finally broke down, gasping alone in the bathroom. Soon she steadied herself, knowing someone could help. Atai, a famed Jiangtao master. Though retired, Atai couldn't ignore Achang's plight. He called Xiaoyan into a room, turned off the lights, and lit a candle. Taking a twig from his bag, he placed it in water. Then, he asked if there was a big tree in front of her house. Atai's words sent a chill down Xiaoyan's spine. But it wasn't hopeless. He told her to take this holy water, sprinkle it in a circle around the big tree, and then drive the dagger into the ground beneath it to drive the ghost away. If she saw anything strange under the tree, she had to wrap it in a black cloth and throw it into the sea along with the deity statue. Back at home, Xiaoyan followed Atai's instructions and sprinkled the water. But the next moment, something strange happened. Worried the ghost would harm her husband again, Xiaoyan grabbed the dagger and bravely faced the ghost. Right after she spoke, a loose thread appeared out of nowhere on the ground, and the other end was tangled in some tattered clothes. Remembering Atai's advice, Xiaoyan hurriedly packed them up and rushed to the seaside. But at that moment, the ghost was on top of her car silently watching her. Soon she reached the shore and quickly got a boat to take her out to sea. When they were in the middle of the water, Xiaoyan wanted to thank the boatman, but he suddenly said, "Don't look back," because the ghost followed her onto the boat. Xiaoyan didn't have time to wonder how the boatman could see the ghost too. She just knew she had to throw the package into the sea. Once the package sank, the ghost disappeared as well. The next morning, Xiaoyan was woken by a song. At once she recognized it. It was the same song she'd heard in the cave. But this time it carried a faint sadness. It turned out the boatman was the woman Xiaoyan had spoken to in the cave. Maybe really the spirit of Niang. That mountain trapped her forever, never letting her return home. Even in misfortune, Niang used her last kindness to save Achang, and in turn saved the family's hope. And that's today's story. See you next recap.